what's going on, everybody? This is Living in Arizona Now, and today we are going to talk about laws in Arizona. We did this video 2 years ago, but some laws have changed. Let's dive in. Now, before we do, I just want to make this disclaimer. I am not a professional legal consultant. I am not claiming to be anything of the sort. I am just an average Joe trying to interpret laws and share some of these laws with you. So I do need to put that disclaimer out there before you go thinking that I'm a legal man, because I'm not a professional lawman, okay? Let's go. Alright, so the first one we're going to talk about here is Proposition 207. That's recreational use of marijuana. So prior to that, we were a medical marijuana state, but now we've gone to recreational. There is rumors around the news media here in Arizona that this week, the third week of January, they're supposed to start actually opening up some areas for recreational marijuana sales. Now, that's expected to pick up here into March 2021 and moving forward. In order to actually get your hands on that recreational marijuana, you're going to need an ID card. So a valid Arizona ID card. Stand by for more information on that, but that was Proposition 207 if you guys want to dive in and take a look at just what that stands for. Alright, now on the subject of gambling, we're just going to talk about that because we do have casinos out here in Arizona, but those are on tribal land. Those are not actually outside of tribal land. So if you're looking to come here to Arizona and do some casino gambling, you'll notice we have a lot of that because we have a lot of Native American reservations. So just on the subject of gambling, yes, we do have it on reservations, but not on state land, state-owned land. With that being said, no sports gambling out here in Arizona, so you're not going to be able to go do any bookie stuff, although you can play poker, blackjack, and slots. So just wanted to put that out there for those of you who like to do gambling. Alright, now out here in Arizona, animals have rights, okay? You can't just do whatever you want with animals. What I mean by that is you can't just abuse an animal, you can't kill an animal just because you're ready to be done with it. That is a crime, obviously, right? And in case you didn't know, now you know. But I also want to expand on that. If you have animals out here in your backyard in the summer months, once it gets over 90 degrees, you are actually, by law, supposed to provide shade and water for your animals in your backyard. You can actually be prosecuted for not providing water or shade for your animals, so do keep that in mind. Some other things you could do to actually help your animals in that situation, having a mister system and whatnot. But in your backyard, if you think you could just leave your animal back there with whatever's back there, no. Your neighbors can call animal control on you and it is against the law. Also, leaving your pets in a car during the heat, there are laws against that. You want to look into that. But additionally, animals, when you're riding an animal or a horse, whatever you are riding there, when you go across the street, you have rights like a motorist. Okay, so that means you're supposed to adhere to the same laws that motorists do in a motor vehicle, right? So just keep that in mind when you're actually horseback riding. You're supposed to follow the rules of the road just like a motor vehicle would. Alright, we touched on this subject in a couple videos before, the subject of cactuses. So do not think that you can just go start whacking at cactuses, chopping down cactuses, in particular the saguaro cactus. It does carry with it the weight of a 25-year sentence in some cases if you're discovered to have knocked down or destroyed a saguaro cactus. Why is that? Because it's an endangered species, and that's really important to people out here in Arizona, and they've taken extreme measures to protect the saguaro cactus. So I just wanted to let you guys know. Saguaro cactuses, don't go trying to damage those, okay? Also, to those of you who are looking to get married, believe it or not, Arizona is a community property state. That means that man and woman, 50-50, everything that is acquired during the marriage. So look it up if you're looking to get married out here, because your prenup may have some stipulations that you need to abide by. Yeah, so out here in Arizona, we do actually have a state mandate for masks in most counties also. So when you come out here, be ready to use your mask because it's the law. And if you're going to get a haircut when you're sitting in the chair or at a cosmetologist when you're sitting down, you do have to wear your mask that entire time. So don't get all huffy puffy when you're at one of these establishments and they say, "Excuse me, sir," or "Excuse me, ma'am, please put your mask on." Arguing with them is not going to do you any bit of good. It's just going to make you look rude and inconsiderate. And whether you agree or disagree, it is the law out here in most counties in Arizona right now. Now that could change here at any given point in 2022 or 2023 if you're trying to watch this video. This might be an outdated law, but as of right now in 2021 January, it's the law. This one's going to throw some of you guys for a loop. You know corporal punishment? Well, guess what? In Arizona, we're one of 19 states that still allow corporal punishment in schools. So I don't know the exact details behind the corporal punishment law because growing up here, having gone to school here, I don't remember any teachers trying to paddle my butt or anything. But apparently, if you Google it and you research it, corporal punishment in Arizona is still allowed, at least according to what I've discovered on the internet. Please feel free to chime in on that subject in the comments below because I do know it can be a touchy subject. Now, according to law 133703, it is actually against the law to desecrate or damage or destroy or deface any flag. So if you're thinking you're one of those people who wants to go out there and destroy the Arizona flag or the American flag, think again because you're actually not allowed to do that according to the law. Now, according to SB 1094, it is illegal to aggressively panhandle, in particular around the ATMs and the banks within 15 feet. Now, as far as being away from ATMs or banks, not such a big deal, but if you're thinking about panhandling or if you have someone else panhandling you around an ATM or around a bank within 15 feet, that is illegal. They are not to do that. Additionally, there are towns in Arizona, like the city of Scottsdale, that actually discourages panhandling over there, so do not think that it's okay in every single town or city to just give money to someone on the side of the road, because in places like Scottsdale, they actually don't want you to do that to encourage people to come there and panhandle and stand on the street corners. So just wanted to kind of touch on that subject because it is something you see all across America right now. So Arizona is an interesting state in the sense that it allows you to actually go to driving school every 12 months to wipe your driving record clean. So that's kind of a good thing and a bad thing. But, you know, hey, if you're one of those people who has a lead foot for about 6 months span there and you get 3 tickets, you can go to defensive driving school and actually take the course. If upon successful completion within a 12-month period, you can actually wipe your record clean. It used to be 24 months. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Now, according to section 13405, the use of deadly force in the event of a home invasion, it is a sticky subject out here, but you are authorized to defend yourself if the threat is imminent or immediate. So people who feel threatened directly, according to the law out here, and you will want to look this one up, this is a subject that you don't just go around taking lightly. The use of deadly force and the right to defend yourself. Look it up. I just gave you the numbers of the section that you can review. But if you feel an immediate threat to your safety, like you're under threat of harm, death, right? You have the right to defend yourself in those cases with deadly force. So in addition to the stand your ground law, Arizona is actually an open carry state as well. So with that being said, watch who you talk smack to on the road thinking that everything's hunky-dory, because you never know who's having a bad day and also carrying a gun. Now, with that said, I do not recommend any of you guys to ever get into a situation where you have to discharge your gun. That's a case of last ditch effort. So even though those laws exist, do take them very, very, very serious. Arizona is a state where you do need to wear your seatbelt. Now, with that being said, what happens if you're wanting to drive in the back of the truck bed? Well, for sure, someone under 16 years old cannot drive in the back of a truck bed. Although dependent upon the county you're in, you may be able to check the laws on whether or not someone over 16 is allowed to actually sit in the truck bed. It's a sticky subject. Not a lot of clarity on that. If you guys have any more information on it, do drop a comment below. But it appears as though in some counties, under 800,000 people, you can actually drive in the truck bed for short distances and whatnot. And now for those of you who like to ride motorcycles, if you're over 18, you don't actually have to wear a helmet according to what we're discovering on the internet about the law. You may want to review that further in detail, but if you're under 18, you have to wear a helmet. But they do have a guideline that says you need to wear eye protection when you're riding a motorcycle unless you have a windscreen in the front. Now this is just, again, an initial introduction to riding motorcycles in Arizona. I would encourage you all to do further research on that subject. Okay, this one's for the hunters out there. According to HB 2399, in addition to having the necessary permits to shoot your game, you also cannot harass other hunters. There is a law out there that prohibits hunters from harassing others. Hunters. So if you're one of those people who's territorial hunter and you're saying, hey, this is my area, get the heck out of here, Davey or Joey, you know, this is my zone, I wouldn't play that game, because out here there is a law that protects hunters against other hunters. Yeah, so for those of you who like to ride an Uber and other rideshare applications that allow you to get rides like that, there is laws that maintain that all drivers need to have proper background checks, insurance, and safety inspection on their car completed. So peace of mind for you guys who are actually intending to be passengers, but also for those of you who are looking to drive for Uber or Lyft or one of these rideshare companies. So interesting insight for you. Now this one you're going to want to dive into a little bit, but there is a law against imitation cocaine and other imitation drugs. So people for some reason came up with this idea that it might be fun, cool, or cute to go out and create imitation drugs, and Arizona decided to make a law against people who create imitation cocaine and whatnot. So even if it's not real, but you're pretending like it is, there is a law against doing that. And you will want to look that up. Imitation cocaine law in Arizona. All right, so in the case of driving under the influence or driving while intoxicated, we have some of the most strict laws out here in Arizona for that subject. So if you're one of those people who likes to have a little bit too much to drink at the bar and then get behind the wheel, be careful with that, because some of the laws out here, especially for extreme DUI, can get into the area of criminal penalty beyond misdemeanor into felony offenses. So do pay attention to that and don't take those laws lightly, especially once you start getting up above 0.08. So very serious out here in Arizona driving under the influence laws. Yeah, so there actually is law that's kind of interesting. Low gas tax, but high cigarette tax. So the state of Arizona decided to tax the smokers and take it easy on those of you who are driving. Interesting, because both are pollutants, right? But smokers, you're getting penalized in Arizona with a high tax, upwards of $1. People who drive a lot, because that's what we do out here in Arizona, not so much. So on the subject of same-sex marriage, because some of you may want to know this, Arizona actually legalized that, I believe, around 2014. So if you're one of those people who's against it or for it, that's just the law, and that's how it is. So I figured I'd throw that out there because some people do ask those questions on this channel. Yeah, so also Arizona has some light pollution laws related to the astronomy research that we have out here around many of these mountain peaks. So if you have lights in your backyard, they're not to be too bright, and if they are, they need to be covered up or dimmed, because we do have light pollution laws out here in Arizona. You'll want to look into that further if you're looking to have lights in your backyard or around the property that you live at, especially past 10 o'clock. The only places that are allowed to get away with that are going to be airports and other areas kind of like that. All right, to all you fast and furious guys out there, or girls who likes to ride your vehicles real fast and race your friends, there is some laws regarding that, and you will want to look into it. But from what I understood is it is legal to actually street race in Arizona as long as you have authorization to do so. So, you know, out here in Arizona, sometimes you'll go down to some of these places out in Deer Valley or out on the west side, and people are doing street races. Well, if you're wondering if that's legal or illegal, because sometimes the cops come and chase people off, the difference is you need authorization to get that from the landowner or from the county, city, or state that you're trying to actually access that area to race. Arizona does have a law called the stupid motorist law, so do take attention of that right there and research that a little bit on the internet here. Make sure when you're going to one of these websites that it's an official law website, of course, or the actual state legislature website. But the stupid motorist law says that if you cross any police boundary into a situation that you're not supposed to be in, you can be held accountable for the bill that comes from that. So don't be crossing police boundaries or whatnot thinking it's okay, because if something happens, you might be on the hook for the bill. So stupid motorist law, look it up. Now obviously in the state of Arizona and across the country, the legal manual can be about that big or sometimes that big, right? I mean, there's a lot of laws and a lot of provisions. It's impossible to cover everything in detail in a short video. So in the comments below, go ahead and let us know laws that we should have covered, didn't cover. Share the information with others who are coming from out of state or even local, because people don't know a lot of these laws, and that's why we put them out there, right? So thanks to everyone who's been watching, hitting the like button, and subscribing to this channel, Living in Arizona Now. We'll see you guys on the next one.